The Parthenon also has a frieze, and it's not obvious when you first look at the Parthenon where it is, and we'll get to that in a second. This is a low relief continuous image that starts and ends over the main entrance, and it depicts something called the Parthenon procession that took place every year. Every 4 years there was a grand procession, and what they would do is, this is a multi-day festival, they would at the end of it process to the Parthenon and to the Acropolis for a number of different reasons. One of them to bring a cloth to a sculpture of an owl representing Athena, or a sculpture of Athena herself. Now, the Parthenon procession has very little to do with the gods and everything to do with identity. It's a way for the community to come together to do one thing, and that thing draws them together as Athenians. So it's the ritualistic element is not really the most important element of what's going on when we're looking at the Parthenon procession. The frieze is actually inside, so we have a second peristyle here inside, or a second colonnade inside the Parthenon. So here's the exterior, and then as you walk up, there's a second row of columns, and you'll see the frieze. And from the floor, 50 feet down, you're not going to be able to see it. This is only about a 10-foot gap, if that, between the outer and inner columns, which means the Athenians really aren't going to see it. So who's meant to see it? Well, it's meant for the god. Of course, the god would be able to look at anything because they don't have the same limitations we do as humans. So this is what it looks like if you're looking at it. And remember, there's no roof on this right now. If there was a roof, it would be so dark, even painted, this would be very, very difficult to actually make out. And it's a communal procession. It's that procession of the people of Athens moving towards the Acropolis, towards the Parthenon. And it is strangely egotistical for a people to depict themselves on a temple. But yet this is very typical of the Athenians. In terms of what's going on, they're bringing a cloth to the Acropolis, which will be presented to the gods. In this case, the gods are the seated figures, and then we have the figures of the Athenians, who are clearly smaller, hierarchy of scale, again playing a role. The colors would have been bright and gaudy. It's the only way you would have been able to see it. And they would have added a lot of bronze details to the piece to make it pop out a lot more.